Welcome to episode 6 of the Spectrum of Health podcast. Today, I got a very special guest, a very, very close friend of mine, one of my best friends, someone who has over 100 professional appearances. Big up yourself. He's lived my dream and millions of other kids' dreams across the country. Mr. Tarieq Holmes-Dennis. Little clap, little clap, little clap. Boom, boom, boom. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, man. How are you, bro?
I'm good. Firstly, I want to thank you for coming. Obviously, I told you I had this idea of doing a podcast for quite a little while. And, I appreciate that you have decided to come join.
Anytime, bro.
Took you a while, but we got you here in the end. So yeah, obviously the whole big thing of doing a podcast for me was to touch on things such as mindset, confidence building, and also how people have gone through hard times and how they built confidence through those hard times. Obviously, you've got a story that I know very well, and a lot of people know, but I kind of want to just talk about that. Not necessarily just about your football, but the mindset and how you got through certain things. So I want to take it all the way back, like school days. Obviously, we was in the same Sunday team, Sydenham Sports, big up all the Sydenham Sports people. Like back then, firstly, what kind of got you into football in the first place?
I just loved it from young. Like my dad played football, like semi-professionally,
Yeah.
so I was always just around football, innit? And then from I could walk, I was kicking the football. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just was like a natural progression. Like I just loved it, and it just went from one
Did your
to
dad
another.
ever pressure you to play football, or was it just you had the
Nah,
choice?
I
And
had
you
the
just...
choice. Yeah, I just loved it, innit? So
Okay,
I was good. I enjoyed it, and it just made sense.
right. So when it came to playing football at a young age, yeah, did you always know you was good, or was it something that other people were telling you?
Um, I knew I was good. Like as a kid, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're playing with your friends, just running around, scoring,
yeah,
and in the Sunday team, just scoring all the time. When I was actually good at going forward,
yeah,
but playing for the olders, like from Sunday league, was playing with like a year above, so I always like knew I was decent. Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then from a young age, it was like what 7, 8. Then you're in an academy, so it's
yeah.
like, oh, it must be okay then. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When you're like a kid, I could have went to a few different clubs, and obviously chose Charlton.
Yeah.
It was local, was in the Premier League at the time. So yeah, that just made sense. But I remember starting it with Sydenham Sports. Actually before that, it was like a little park, little Crystal Palace scheme.
Okay.
It was a Crystal Palace scheme. I used to go there. I loved it there. But I just used to be getting mad because there was no goals. It was cones. And I just wanted to hit the net.
Yeah, of course.
So I
Yeah.
remember that being one thing I hated about it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to like shoot in a goal, and just shooting in cones was just for some reason I hated
It's
it.
not the same,
It's
is
not
it?
the
Yeah.
same. So from young, I just knew I wanted to score in a goal. Then when I ended up going to Sydenham Sports, one of my mates that was grew up with and was at Charlton with as well, Ellis Brown, his dad was the coach there, so he got me down to Sydenham Sports. And from there, I just loved it. But so much players come through there. You, Moses, Zach Ansah, Josh Siafa, Ellis, Kieran Sadler, who's at Rotherham now. There was a good few of us.
Yeah, there's a big bunch
Do you know
from
what I
that
mean?
from that time. Cool. So might be a bit of a difficult question because you might not be able to remember how you felt or how your mind was at that stage. But like for me, like a lot of you and Ellis went to academies before me, right? But I remember vividly like you two kind of leaving the
Yeah,
Sydenham Sports, but that made me more confident.
yeah.
Like, so like at that time, it might be hard to think about at 7, 8 years old, but was you just naturally a confident kid? Was it something that was kind of nurtured? People telling
I
you,
think I
oh,
was when it came to football, I was actually in general just like a naturally confident kid.
yeah,
So for me, it was just football, innit? Like it
yeah,
wasn't. You don't see it as oh, I'm confident, I'm shy. It's just football,
yeah,
and
you're
it was
just
just
getting on
playing.
with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't really
yeah.
think
Because
about it.
even then, I was going on to train with Chelsea at that age, and it didn't feel like oh, I'm going to train with Chelsea. Just like oh, I'm going to play.
Just natural.
Then it's like you've got people coming to try and sign you for Chelsea and stuff, and at that age, it's like
You're not thinking
you
about
don't care. Like you don't think it's just football.
it. Yeah.
Like just oh, different kit. Do you know what I mean? As you get older, it'll be different. But at that age, it's like honestly, you don't really realize what it is when you're at that age. It's more
Yeah.
like just leaving it to your parents to deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, let's talk about being in academy. Charlton, that's where you broke through at. So let's talk about the academy years, right? So academies can be quite ruthless environment. You know, every season, some kids are getting released, some kids are getting another year, and then at 14, 15, you're getting your scholar. What every year, I talk about my mindset. Every year, I just felt like there's no way they're gonna release me. So
Yeah.
I never thought about it
Yeah.
once. Some people might say, "Right, that's mad to think like that," but I don't know. I just never felt like, I just never thought they can't release me. Like I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Like, did you always feel like every year as an academy player you was gonna get another year, like from 8 years old, or did you?
Honestly, as bad as it sounds, I didn't really take football that seriously until I got to about 14.
Okay.
So like up until 14, it was just like, oh, I'm going football.
Okay.
I'm just training with I'm enjoying it. I wasn't always like the most well behaved at football, but I always like was focused.
Yeah.
It's just I always worked hard, but in school, like like when you have that, he's a good kid, but he gets distracted.
Yeah.
That was probably me at football.
Yeah.
And it was only when I was 14, the academy director, who like most respect for, Steve Avery, like he kept me on the straight and narrow because he I remember him bringing my mum into a meeting and I was in there. One session we had, like I was just laughing in the session, like not like being naughty, just laughing. I was like 13.
In the training session?
In the training session,
Okay,
yeah. And then I think they stopped the session because me and one of the teammates were just like laughing all the time. It literally stopped the session. So all the parents from the good, the well-behaved kids were like, oh, like disruption, like stay away from it. You know what I mean? And it's funny because as I've grown older, you would never think that because I've been a professional.
Yeah.
I take it like real seriously. But when I had that meeting, they said, "Oh, you're lucky that he's a good player. Otherwise, he would have been released like time ago." From then, like my mum grounded me for a month, and then something just switched in my head, and I just started taking it super seriously.
Yeah.
So from 14, I remember always being looked upon as the oh, he's good, but like, you're just a bad kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the coach that I had a little bit of problems with, all of a sudden, like I was just working hard, playing for the older age group, and honestly, from 14 forward, then that next 5 years probably just the best of my career.
Yeah.
I was playing up all the time, so I was playing for the under 15s at 14. I remember playing for the under 16s when I was at under 14. Then when I was at under 15, I was playing for the under 18s. Under 16, I was playing for the under 18s, and it just like propelled from there. But that time where they said, "Oh, you're probably going to get released if you don't fix up," was probably definitely the turning point in my youth career. Do you know what I mean?
So what was your, if you could describe it in words, like what was your mindset or what was the shift in mindset at that stage?
It was just realizing the opportunity that I had. And I think it was at a point of, I was between 13 and 14. I probably looked up at the olders, like the Callum Harriets, the Jordan Cousins, and I saw them like playing for England under 16s. And I'm like, oh, like little things like just seeing them training with like seniors or being in the daytime. I was like, oh, like, these lot miss school to go to play football. And I started seeing it as, okay, like it's actually a real opportunity that I'm in. It's not just football with the mates.
Yeah.
Like you're at a professional football club.
Yeah.
And I think from then, once I flicked that switch in my head, it's just complete. Like I want to be the best. I want to be better than whoever is doing well. And for me, that's the drive and focus that allowed me to have such a decent career as a youngster.
Yeah. So you spoke about school a little bit. So that drive that you had for football, how did that translate academically? You don't have to, if it was good or bad. I
passed all my GCSEs and that, but even then, like when I was 15, I used to get days off school like, every week. I'd miss a day to go train with the olders. And when I was not doing too well in school, like bring my parents in, or he's gonna have to stop going to like miss the day release because he's not getting the right grades, he's misbehaving. Like it doesn't make sense. So when they stopped me doing that for a bit, like I had to knuckle down. Otherwise, it was gonna affect my football because I was training with the older team. Like, and if that was gonna affect football, like I had to pattern up.
Yeah.
So that was probably the main reason. To be honest, it's not like I enjoyed school or wanting to do well. I didn't want to fail in school because I knew that my mum wanted me to pass, innit?
Yeah.
So I needed to at least pass and do all right, and I've done that. So that's where we're at.
Okay, cool. So I had two other guests on, right? I had Damali Eastman, she's a history teacher, and I had another guest. His name was Devel, and he's currently studying law. And we spoke about they both got two quite interesting stories, and they spoke about having a supportive community around them, having some supportive people in their circle, and how critical that was. From the sounds of things, it sounds like something similar. Like it was critical for you to have those supportive people in your life.
Like honestly, can't like my parents, granddad, grandma,
Yeah.
especially my granddad, man, took me everywhere.
Yeah.
Football. I used to play other sports, like I used to play cricket, and I was at 13, 14, I had to make a decision on whether it was going to be that or that.
Okay.
So he supported me through that. Even like family, sometimes if my mum or dad couldn't get me to training, like cousin, like one of the parents' cousins or a family friend would take me training.
Yeah.
So it really like, and that's why I respect all the youngsters, that have to get bus from young far
Yeah.
to go ball train, because I had to start getting bus at like maybe 14. But as a youngster, I was always being helped and taken, and I can understand why it will go left if a kid hasn't got that pushing from a parent.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that should never be overlooked.
And we see it so often, innit? Like kids that they don't have the right people around them,
getting bus home at 10 o'clock,
and they don't have the support either. Exactly. So it's so easy to get dragged into the wrong path or not fulfill your potential.
You've got to remember, there's some parents that don't have a clue what's going on at football. They're not interested. It's just football. They don't see it as a career. It's just like, oh, like he's just going off the football.
Yeah, they don't have
after
a clue.
school. It might as well be after school club, but they're really playing for an academy.
Yeah,
like,
they don't have a clue, innit? It's true. So let's talk about leading up to like your scholarship times, right? Was there any serious knockbacks that you had before getting your first pro, or would you say it was pretty smooth until?
Honestly, I can't lie. From 14 till 18, it was just plain sailing, bro.
It was cool,
just it was honestly cool because I had a scholarship at 14.
Yeah.
Had a pro at 15.
Yeah.
Like in what's the word? Like we've agreed it. Yeah. So that just I was always driven to the next thing.
Yeah.
When I got the scholarship, I was like, I need to get a pro. You know what I mean? I need to have a pro.
So your mindset at the time, as soon as you got one thing, you was like, I want the next thing.
Always, bro. I was never happy with just that, because if it wasn't that, it was, I need to play for England.
Yeah.
Oh, why do I need to play for England? Oh, my man's playing for England. I need to play for England.
Yeah.
Like I need to get sponsored by.
So it's just that. Was it a sense of the competitiveness within you?
Just wanted to be the best that I could be. You know what I mean? Or have like that. Like I just want to be the best player in my team or the best player in the area. Just wanting to be the best. That was it, really.
And in terms of the coaching, right? Because I found when I was at Palace that it might sound a bit weird, but I almost felt like I wasn't really being nurtured to try and be my best. Like I was almost, in a sense, kind of being told I wasn't allowed to do certain things when that was made to better me. So like in your youth team days as an under 18, how supportive were the coaching staff in your personal development?
No, we had some good coaches. I think the main thing I would take away from our coaches at Charlton were how they actually readied us for first team football.
Right.
The way they dealt with us, you couldn't go to a first team environment and be surprised. Like you knew how it would be.
Right.
And that's what I respect. Like they had us like ready for, because the environment shift is different. Like it's youth team football, first team football is not the same. So as much as they could, they made us prepared for that. I think the only thing that was probably frustrating is me and my friends. Yeah, we loved like that cultured football in it, and then sometimes you'll try things and it'll be frowned upon, and it's like, why?
Yeah,
we just want to try something.
If
we're gonna do it in training, like that's the place to try and nurture that. That's probably the only thing I would say that was frustrating. The rest of it, like they wanted us to play football in it and move the ball quick, and not take too many touches and not try too many skills, which I understand because it prepares you for the first team environment. But sometimes it's like, just let a few things.
You gotta let the players play, man.
You know what I'm saying?
As they would say.
It's not a robot thing.
Yeah, cool, man. So when you got your first pro, like just the first deal, how did you like? Obviously, you felt happy, but was it again? You felt, oh, next thing. What's the next thing? Like, what was your mind state at that stage?
At that stage, when I got it, I was like, bro, like as a kid, like pro, like huh, like you're
Yeah,
a professional footballer,
yeah,
like that's sick. So that was in my head, but I didn't rest on that. It was always what next? Where do we go from here? Like, am I gonna get? Do I want to try and get a move to a bigger club? Do I want to get a better contract? For me, it was just I just want to get into the first team as young as possible. I literally just wanted to get in the first team as young as possible, and it took longer than I wanted it to take. But looking back on it, it needed to take that long because I wasn't ready. Do you know what I mean?
mm.
So that yeah, all
So
worked
you
out.
see, when you got that mentality of, the next thing, the next thing,
Mm,
do you ever take the time to like let it sink in? Like, wow, I've got my scholarship at 14, or I got my pro at 15. Do you ever celebrate those things, or is it like
um,
there's no time to really?
I think maybe the pro. I was like, oh, like decent, but I never thought this is it. It was
Yeah,
always what next, really. Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But and in the same, like I think that's a good good way to be. But sometimes, like so, for example, I was at Charlton, 18, and I was thinking I need to be playing first team. I need to be playing first team, and I wasn't getting in at Charlton, which was obviously disheartening. So when
mm.
you're pushing yourself and expecting a lot from yourself, you also get a lot of
Get a
yeah,
knock.
because you're not
Yeah,
getting where you want to be in it as
yeah,
fast as you want to be there. So it's like, all right, how am I going to go around this? And for me, that was going on loan.
right.
Obviously, went on loan, and that was probably the best decision I made because I played by the time I was between 18 and 19, played 35 first team games.
Yeah,
So that already put me in good stead for like the early stages of my professional career. Um, definitely needed that. But then when I've gone back to Charlton, I've then thought, all right, I need to be playing here, and I ended up getting into the first team, playing some games, and that was like for me that was the best. I was like, in your head, you anticipate playing championship football. Can you handle that? You've worked your whole life to get here. You train with the first team. You're thinking, oh yeah, I definitely can handle it. But on a Saturday, it's a different.
different thing.
And
Yeah,
when I did get in there and I realized I can actually handle it, it was the best feeling ever for me.
yeah,
Like honestly, looking back on it, that was just the best. When I got into that Charlton first team and had a run of games and realized that I could handle championship football was the best thing ever. But my first real setbacks was when there was a big change of managers like at Charlton in that period of time, 2014, 15, and new manager will come in out of the picture, and I just did not know how to handle it. I was like,
yeah,
what the hell?
yeah,
I just want to go on loan. Want to go on loan. They're like, no, just stick around, stick around. Like, I want you to be around the first team. I want you to. I'm like, I just want to play. Like, I don't care about being around the first team. I don't care about training with the first team. I just want to play and just get my games. Remember, I'm watching Jordan Cousins get games every week. Joe Gomez, and I'm buzzing for them. I want to be part of that.
yeah. Of
And if I'm not
course,
part of that, then I need to go elsewhere and do that because I'm not gonna just sit and watch everyone else
of
playing. You
course.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? And that was my mindset when I ended up moving to Huddersfield again. Now that for me, looking back on it, hindsight obviously is a wonderful thing. Like the best season of my life. I've gone to a club where I've trained with the level has stepped up. I've improved. Like I've never like looking back on it, the amount I improved over that year was crazy, and I was forced to because I was in a proper environment, a professional environment, like serious managers, and that really improved me. I didn't go and be first choice left back. Like I got enough. I got 15 games that season, which is good in such a good season. But when I left, just as I left, Carl Robinson came into Charlton Athletic, and I think the kind of player I was then, and the kind of manager he is, and he was giving a lot of the youngsters a chance. The youngsters that like to play football, I feel like I might have had a chance to stay and play at Charlton. So
yeah,
that's where I was about to say that hunger to always like want more might have been a detriment to if I stayed at Charlton. I might have got the chance that I
right.
was waiting for,
Yeah,
but because I was like, no, I need to go and play, and Huddersfield wanted me and they were interested. It was like, let me go there. Do you know what I
yeah. You
mean?
didn't wait.
But it's not a thing I regret because
Yeah,
I loved it there
yeah,
and it propelled my career. But looking back on it, maybe staying and playing another 50, 60 games for Charlton might have been a better thing for me.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So would you say that the first bit, the hardest part or the biggest, the first knockback you had really was that the stage where you weren't getting games at Charlton and you had to
Yeah,
move
most
on?
definitely that was the hardest thing for me there, because I remember it affecting like getting home on a Saturday. Let's say it's game day, but I'm going into training in the morning, going home, it's 3 o'clock, Sky Sports is on.
Yeah, and you're not there.
But then I've already had a taste of first team football in League Two.
Yeah,
And it's like, what am I doing at home at
yeah,
3 o'clock on a Saturday?
yeah. So when you said that you didn't know how to deal with it at the time, how did you deal with it? Like, what were you doing?
Honestly, just training, just doing all I could in training. Just trying to make the most of training, but I'll still get home and just be sulking,
Yeah,
just be vexed.
yeah.
Like there wasn't.
So obviously, I know you got a good support system. What was your support system telling you at the time?
Just be patient.
Okay,
Like
giving
time
you
will come.
them cliche ones.
Cliche, yeah. Just be patient. Just but it's difficult in it because you're 19 and you think you're an adult and you're like, oh, I just don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
just don't want to hear it. Do you know what I'm saying?
The be patient one is like,
Yeah.
how patient do you want me to be?
Yeah.
Kind of
Do
thing,
you know what I mean? Because you feel like I'm trying to propel my career and you're just stopping me because
Yeah,
you're not letting me go on loan, but you're not playing me. So it's like
yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere.
that was
almost.
that was horrible.
So to move, like switch it a little bit, in terms of actually being a professional and having that career, like what were some of the best parts of it, and what were some of the worst parts of it?
Best parts, like my first professional season, like seeing, for me it was like, okay, I'm going in as an 18-year-old scrawny. I remember like I'm saying, right, like after my first few games, I thought I was gonna struggle because you're small, didn't look up to it. Then I ended up like just playing every game, like doing sick for them and for me. That just showing myself like, yeah, I'm ready for first team football. And I remember going into every game thinking it's gonna be the best. Like I'm gonna, do you know what I mean? Trying things like just trying things that I should not have been trying at that age.
Yeah,
Getting into the first team and it coming off and it's like, nice. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of stuff. Um, making my championship debut for Charlton. That was sick, man. Because I've grown up there from 7.
yeah, of
I've come
course.
in and it's like, okay, now I'm actually playing in front of 15,000, 10,000,
Yeah,
and it's like at home. That feeling, honestly, I was like, yeah, that was crazy. Huddersfield debut, all of that stuff, moving away from home, having to live on my own, and like think, yeah, you're an adult now. Like, there's so many experiences, man. So many experiences that you don't appreciate until you're maybe looking back on it. As for the negatives, also another one, yeah, being away from home, not easy.
yeah,
Young, it's like you're away from your friends, away from your family, having a bad day at football, bad week. You got to deal with it yourself, innit? So that one, obviously injury, that's probably obviously the worst. Other than that, a few little disagreements with managers, but nothing crazy.
yeah,
Nothing like where it's like, oh, could be labelled a bad guy or bad. Like I've never had that. So
yeah. You never had the bad egg.
nah,
Never had
never.
the bad egg tag in
Yeah, so
it.
I know that when it comes to football, it was never a thing of
Attitude.
yeah, never. I can that can never be questioned. Like you can ask anyone. So
Yeah,
I'm happy
that's
with
good.
that.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
important because that's a very easy tag to be given to certain people.
Yeah, no, of course.
So yeah, no, that's good, man. So in terms of moving away and having maybe been a little bit more disconnected from your support system in terms of like actually seeing them on a regular basis, like how was that transition of leaving London, being on your own? Like what were the difficulties with that? And how did you feel kind of being alone at home? A lot of people can get into their own head
I think
sometimes.
I think boredom, man.
Yeah,
Boredom, like it's a real thing. Obviously, looking back on it, I would have tried to fill my time with learning something.
yeah,
Then it's like football's just life, so just football. Finish at 1 o'clock. Now I might just be on my own until I go to bed at 11, 12 o'clock.
yeah.
And that was probably the hardest thing.
And at
Like
what age was he doing that?
18,
Okay, wow.
yeah, 18, 19. But one time I went on loan to Plymouth. I had loads of my friends with me, so I was as far as you can get.
Yeah,
But I had my brethren, so it was cool. When I went to Oldham, I was on my own. That was like I'm in a hotel. Not even like you can go cook something, eating out. I'm going to Manchester to eat on my own, to
wow.
have dinner and stuff. That was like difficult,
Yeah,
but it was still okay because it wasn't too long. It was only 6 to 7 weeks. Huddersfield. That was probably the hardest one, you know. As much as it was the best, that was the hardest
Why?
because first of all, Leeds is far. I was living in Leeds. Second of all, when it's like the timing of training, we would train in the afternoon. So the mornings, I'm just waking up and I can't really do nothing because I've got training at, we've got to be in at 1:30 to train at 3. Can't do anything after football because we get back late or you're tired. So it's like when it wasn't going, when I've moved there now, remember I've moved because I want to step up my career and
Yeah.
progress my career. For the first few weeks, I'm not making the squad. Um, it was a step up in training levels. Like it took me a while to adjust. And when like, I started, done well, my first in my debut, we won. Like the team is flying. When I've got there, the team is flying. We're top of the league. So I'm not just gonna walk into the team. The other left back was doing well, and it's like there's times I'm getting left out of the squad. I'm like, bro, was this move smart? Like I'm far from home and I'm not playing. Um, being left out of the squad. So on Friday they're going away for the game. I'm going to chill on my own for the weekend. Come in to do training on Saturday on my own, gym and whatnot. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Like it's not easy. But then as time's gone on, manager spoke to me, like quality manager David Wagner. Um, it started from one of the coaches blasted me. That discussion we had was like it was home hitting. It was like, what's going on? Like you're not really hitting the levels you need to be hitting. And for me to hear that was difficult because I'm usually for the teams I'd been at before, I'd be up there in training.
Yeah.
So to be told like I'm down there, it's difficult. So in the next 4 to 6 weeks, I really, really focused on stepping up in training, working that bit harder, running more, getting fitter. And yeah, the manager ended up saying to me like, pulled me before a game. I was starting that evening, and he was like, "Oh, like what's changed? Like I can see a change in you." And I was like, "Yeah, boy." I had that conversation with the other coach, and yeah, that's just not what I'm used to. So I had to turn it around somehow. And yeah, he was just saying, "Nah, well, I'm impressed, man. Keep it up." From then, I was in the squad all the time. Even if I wasn't starting, I'd be on the bench. I was always getting games when like there was like if the left back got injured or if the left back had 2 games in a row, like you'll give me a game. And even when it come to Wembley, like put me in the squad when like there was senior players that maybe should have been in the squad. I was in the squad, so for me, I knew that he rated me,
Yeah.
and it was just a difficult scenario because the left back was playing well ahead of me, and it was like sometimes a toss of a coin, I think, because
Yeah.
there was games where I played 2, 3 on the bounce, won all 3 of them, played well, still got taken out of the team. So it was hard to build like a 10, 15 game run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And in football, you need that
You
rhythm.
you need it, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially I was only 20 then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're playing championship at the top of the league. So yeah.
So that's interesting. You've talked about 2 scenarios where someone's giving you a serious talking to, and
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
giving you uh, a shift. So
Yeah.
you
I
would,
hate not being at the level I'm because you wouldn't if you didn't think I was good, you wouldn't expect me to be.
you're right.
So telling me that I'm not cutting it,
Yeah.
I can't hear that, man. Like I can't.
But now, as a 25-year-old man, do you appreciate those
100%.
things? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You need that.
You
Otherwise,
need
you're just
that, right?
if you're not told that, and it's like, okay, I'm 20, I'm living up here on my own, I'm on decent money. You might just think you've cracked it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Nah, you better get dragged back down to earth and pattern up. You know what I mean? So that was looking back on it. The situation is like, why is he dealing with me like that? But you look back on it and think, no, you know what?
You need that.
You needed it.
Because I think even in life in general, like people need. You'd never want to be surrounded by yes men. That's what they say, innit? Like you need people that are gonna tell you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it. It's like if we go out and someone's bantering me about a jacket, it might actually be a shit jacket. But you know, you need someone to tell you that.
You
know
need
what
it,
I mean?
man. You need it. It's
Or
honestly, it's vital.
if you're dealing with someone in a bad way, negative relationship with someone, you need someone to tell you the truth. Like, yo, this ain't good for you. And I think sometimes people don't always appreciate having that around them. So so you dealt with a lot of challenging environments and what would you say your mentality was? It just that okay, did you just accept that this was just a part of football, like when you weren't in a team, or was it that you knew that you would be able? Was you always certain that you could always overcome whatever was being thrown at you, or was it
Yeah,
just a
no,
case of kind of dealing with it as it came?
no, I always knew like eventually,
Yeah,
like my time's gonna come.
yeah. So you
Like
always felt like
so
something
yeah,
within you. There was
yeah.
no way
No,
this wasn't gonna happen for you.
I backed my ability,
Right,
and I knew like I was. It was never a case of you're not good enough.
right,
Just, in variables like managers might prefer his player, he might not suit that system, or just I knew that there was going to be somewhere that I'm going to fit in and do
yeah,
well. Like when I
yeah,
went to Portsmouth on loan after Huddersfield, the best football I've played in my career. Like that pre-season, I was just so confident. After that season at Huddersfield, training at such a high level,
it
coming
prepares you.
down a league, still around good players, but it just felt like everything was just ticking the way it needed to. And I was so amped for that season. The manager spoke to me and said, if you carry on like this, like you're going good places.
Mm,
And it's a big manager.
yeah,
So for me to hear that, I was so confident. Preseason games, I was flying, assists. Everything was just taking shape, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's why I was like, oh, finally, man, like a big club, like
yeah.
20,000 every
Portsmouth is a
week.
massive club.
When
Yeah,
you look at the history, it's
it's a
like
massive
really,
club.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So that for me, like, couldn't have been a better loan move. Like, I was buzzing for that
yeah.
season. I was proper excited. So, yeah, yeah. And the rest of it is history, innit? Really.
That's we're gonna go straight into it now. So obviously you had to
But
retire.
basically, long story short, my confidence was never shot from it.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's good. So yeah, but Portsmouth, you had to retire. Um, let's kind of talk about that. Obviously, that's a big deal. You're still dealing with it now, really, when I think about it. So kind of talk us through like that day, just the day that the injury happened, like the actual day itself.
I remember it. I remember the whole day. Like,
Yeah,
um, getting ready for the game. I was living in Southampton. My partner at the time. Um, I remember like suit. I hate wearing suits in it. I remember them saying, "Yeah, you got to wear a suit home games." I was like, put on a suit, go to the game. Like Pompey's got a big fan base, so you walk in, bare people just want your signatures and all of that. It's
yeah,
like I'm used to it at some clubs, but that one was like, nah, they really they really care.
yeah,
So yeah, just like the anticipation was sick. Come loads of fans, like the fans are die hard over there. First half, like yeah, just feeling comfortable, just normal as you do. I remember just like going over on my knee on the astroturf on the side. I was like, ooh, jump back up there. I was like, oh, cool, let's go. I just feel it clicking. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? Corner now, I run over, got a tablet quickly. So yeah, let me try and carry on. Playing. My boy Benno, he's like, get overlap, man. What are you waiting for? Bro, I can't run. Like I've run, I've made thing, done a little skill, crossed it, corner, I've run back and I'm like, oh my gosh, my knee. Then I've gone in for a block tackle and I just sat down. I was like, I cannot carry on. Came off. They're like, oh, don't look great, but after the scan, maybe looking at 3 to 4 months. I was like, oh, bless. Like, it's jarring, but it's what it is.
yeah,
Um, then went and saw the actual specialist. He was like, this is not good. Like, you're looking at 9 to 12 months. No, he didn't. He said, you're looking at 6 to 9 months. You're looking at 6 to 9 months, but it's not one you can rush. Like, this is a really bad injury. The size of the tear of the cartilage on your knee, if it was 1 centimeter bigger, you'd have had to retire. And I was like, first of all, the word retire, I thought I had a bad injury, but that didn't cross my mind.
yeah, yeah. Like
That
not
was
coming back
yeah,
didn't
good,
feel like a
like good
thing.
one.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? No chance. Um, Done that. Had the rehab back at Huddersfield. Rehab was sick, man. The way they they looked after me was like tip top. So due diligent with anything. Now my ambition was same how I attacked everything. Oh, I want to be back sooner. Well, you're not
yeah.
saying 6 to 9 months, all right?
I'm
Five
back
months.
in five.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
be doing everything. What I can do single leg jumps next week. All right, cool. Let's try and do it. They're like, nope. Buy the book. When the numbers you're producing are right, then you can. I'm like, all right, cool. As things are going, it's all on time, going smoothly. Bear in mind, it was a horrible injury. I was sitting on a sofa in a machine that would bend my leg back and forth for 8 hours a day for 2 months. Like that,
Wow.
I couldn't do nothing. Like I couldn't put no weight on it. Like it was crazy. For 8 hours a day for 2 months, I had to sit on the machine on the sofa, and that was probably the most testing time.
Yeah.
Um,
So, what was your mind state like at that time, if you could describe it? Did you lose hope? Was you like,
the first bit, I was almost just like, all right, well, how are we gonna enjoy this? How are we gonna make this as fun as possible?
yeah.
So I was living in that house, innit? And the house was big, bro. And it was, I remember just staying up late. And there was times it was like walking up to the top floor was long. So I said, I'm gonna bring a mattress downstairs and I sit on my thing over just to get the hours in, watch Game of Thrones, like battered Game of Thrones, all of that kind of stuff. We were just like, let me just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Then as time got on, I was like, all right, what next? And it's like looking into a business, how to like the background of how to like run a business, all of those type of things. So in that period, I learned a lot. The business I wanted to do, I didn't end up doing it, but what it taught me was exactly how to, like the A to B steps of how to start up a business, how to run it, all the intricacies behind running a business, and that will stick with me. And now I'm trying to implement it separately, but all of that. So that was good. And yeah, man, just that was it. It was just, and also what it taught me in that time was complete professionalism. I was eating well. I was taking all the supplements. I was doing everything to the T. Like when I was young, I've had an injury. Physios told you do this, that, and other. I was like, do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
now it's like I'll do that when I'm at football. But now it's like no, like your whole life,
Yeah.
every little thing revolves around that.
That's because you was so determined to come
So
back.
determined
Like
to come back
you
like
thought
better than I
100% on
was.
coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah. And I left no stone unturned,
Unturned,
and I
yeah.
can say that like confidently. What else did I do? When it was difficult because I would be injured. I would be coming back from injury, get back from training. Like go and walk into the shops is a myth because I'm walking, knees feeling sore, get back,
Yeah.
bit of swelling. Swelling was my biggest battle.
Yeah.
Come in the morning, RT, let's check your knee, fluid, can't do nothing. So going to the shop was just like, it's not worth the risk of not being able
Yeah.
to do my stuff tomorrow. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So all of that was, there's so many things I could go into and how it would affect me. Like, bro, like walking up the stairs in my flat to get to my thing when I moved back to Huddersfield, just uncomfortable, man. On the wrong day, like it's like, oh my days, this is long. So it's just bits and after bits after bits. When I lived with my boy in Bristol, because this spanned over going the year at Huddersfield, getting back to almost there. Now I'm at Bristol. I was at Bristol for 2 seasons. The first year I lived with my boy Alex, like he knows firsthand and hack. Them two was with me like through it all. Like after when I finally got back training, it took me a while to get back training. But when I did, how I was like couldn't really walk after training.
Yeah.
Like we're just chilling. Like I'm gonna go shop, but can't walk properly. But it's like I've got to train the next day, so I'm doing everything I can. Like, I'm on the ice, get in from training on the ice machine
Yeah.
for hours just to be able to train the next day.
Yeah.
But then in 3-4 days time, I've got to play a match.
Yeah.
So it's like madness. Like honestly, madness. Like
So after you had the first injury, you gone back to Huddersfield.
yeah,
You did it. They said it would be 6 to 9 months
Yeah.
before you could return. So after you returned, how long did it take you to return the first time?
So the first time I got to 7 months.
Yeah.
Pain, fluid. Went and saw the physio. The
So you
specialist.
were still getting pain after 7 months.
Yeah, after 7 months, I had to get another operation.
Okay.
So I got a second operation, and that's when. So Portsmouth initially thought, oh, I'm gonna come back for the end of the season, playoffs. Like, yeah, T's coming back. I was like buzzing. Like I'm thinking, like I haven't missed the whole season. That got blown out of the water. It was like I've actually missed a whole. I've played 36 minutes of football in the league. Missed a whole year of football. And then it's like, all right, it's gone. Next season, let's go. Go to Bristol Rovers.
So you had that mindset. You had that mindset still, like
yeah,
onto the next
not
thing.
straight, bro. Like let's go. Cool, that season's done. Let's write it off.
Yeah.
But this season's not getting affected. Like we're gonna have the whole season.
Yeah, we're getting it right.
Got the operation. Come like go ham, like feeling so good, like feeling ready. Go to Bristol Rovers now. Go to train. Flipping Holland training. I have inner soles made for me, for my knee. This isn't me dissing no one. It's just what happened. my boots get left. I don't know why they got left, but my boots got left. Got to train without them. Finished training, like I done a little turn, bam, felt the pain on the outside of my knee, and I was like, oh my gosh, the pain was crazy. But this is my first day at my new club, so it's like, cool. Try and train tomorrow. Trying to get through it, but I can't. I was like, no, I actually can't train. So think of the pressure from myself. I need to train at my new club. Them thinking, like, relatively big signing for the club in terms of coming from a Premier League club, like decent paid. Like, there's a you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a
So
few
a bit of pressure
there.
on the fact that you need to come in and do well. They had a good left back before me. He left, so yeah, had to come in and do well. And it was like, no, I couldn't participate for the next 3 months. The rehab, honestly, the worst ever, bro. I swear to God,
Yeah.
like,
Compared to Huddersfield, or just in general, like any
if we're gonna
standard
compare it
of
to
rehab.
Huddersfield, there's no comparison.
Right.
If we're gonna compare the due diligence, the real care of like we're looking after you, to then the core fundamentals of rehab,
Right.
bro.
Would you have been better off just paying a physio, like a going to a clinic, like a physiotherapist clinic or something?
Fact, bro. Definitely. I would have been better off. I don't know. I would have been better off just doing it myself. Like, it was mad. But like I say, as respectful as possible. But that for me was just the way it was that whole season. Then it's just a madness, man. Like, when they end up getting forced to play, like, I'm playing.
So wait, but before you get onto that, sorry to cut you, but
yeah,
so you had the year, then you've gone pre-season,
yeah,
3 months, you get 3 months again.
and then but still I'm not playing because I'm not feeling. It ended up taking 15, 16 months to get back into my first real game.
Okay.
Like,
What, after the year?
after the year, it took another 6 months, so in total 16 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
then you started playing again.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was when you was doing rehab. The 6 months was rehab at Bristol.
Yeah.
That really wasn't that good rehab.
Nah.
Okay.
It was
cool.
3 months rehab. Then it was like training, breakdown, training, breakdown, training, breakdown for 3 months.
Okay.
Do you get me? So
you never had you was never like
I wasn't
fully ready before you actually went back in.
No. Well, I was at Huddersfield, but I mean, when from Bristol, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then after the 6 months and you're in the team, what was your mind state then? Because we spoke about this before, like when we was training last summer, about how like we're playing with guys that we feel like we're better than.
Yeah.
Or we should be dominating this session. We're having a little ball session, but our bodies aren't allowing us to do that. So how was you feeling at that stage? Because obviously if you're compromised, so you can't give your best. So like, how are you feeling? Like,
I think like my mates at the club would know, and even like staff, I would train. I'd be going out to train and I'm looking at my knee, and it's like this knee is way bigger than this other knee, like the swelling.
Yeah.
So it's not physically possible to move how you want to move. But it's like I'll train, I'll get warm, you try and get through it. But it's just not the same. I'm only feeling half decent come the end of the session. Then as soon as I finish, bam, back to like the pain, swelling. Stiffness, swelling. So it's just a horrible cycle. But because I was so eager to get my career back on track, the physios shouldn't have like said, they should have looked at my knee. Any normal physio would look at it and say, you're not going out.
Yeah, this is
like
mad.
It's impossible for you to play football right now. Even though I would go in and see them every morning, like to show them like how the knee is. Oh, like it's not the greatest, but do you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, cool. Like I just want to play, but I knew should not have been playing.
Yeah.
Then there was times where it's games like, we want you to play. We need you to play. How's the knee feeling? Look, my knee's not feeling great at all, to be honest. Like it's not feeling great. All right, but we need you to play. All right, well I can try. I can see what I can do, and can't guarantee I'm gonna be at my best. Yeah, cool. We'll play. Okay, we're winning. So it's then like stay in the team.
Because you had a good run in the team. I remember because I came back from America and I watched you play. So I remember you was having a good run in the team. He was playing left wing, like playing left midfield. Yeah. But the knee was still.
Yeah, it was. I was taking like painkillers and anti-inflams before games in the morning just to get through the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's then, like, in my head it was like, well, I need to play.
Yeah.
I need to play, but decision shouldn't have been in my hands.
Right.
This the way my knee was.
Because for you, it was just like, well, this is I need to play because I came here to play. I'm a big signing.
Yeah.
I need to be the main left back or left wing or
Yeah.
wherever I'm gonna play. So regardless of the possible long-term injuries or effects, he was like, I'm just gonna go through this.
Yeah. But they knew that I shouldn't have been playing.
Right.
Like they knew that I shouldn't have been playing.
They should have pulled the plug on that, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, so you've had the year, you've had the 6 months, you've got back in the team, you've got an injury, but you're just trying to firm it and continue. What happens after that?
I'm gonna explain that, yeah. But like going to games, like I was never thinking of like, oh bro, like I'm gonna ruin this game. I said I'm gonna do sick. Like my fullback, whoever I'm playing against, I'm gonna move to him. Don't get me wrong, like those games where I've done well and done that, but it was never my main concern. It was always like,
how can I get through it?
How can I get through this game, bro? This game, I'm walking to the stadium from my car, uncomfortable, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that for me was like, looking back on it, I was anxious. I've never been nervous to play in front of fans. I'm anxious that my body's feeling the type of way. How am I going to get through this game?
Yeah.
And do myself justice.
Yeah.
And do my team justice.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was it. And that anxious feeling, I remember mum phoning her. This is mad, you know, mum. Dad, same thing. Like, I know they were more worried for me than they would let off.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Because they know that I'm not phoning them chatting shit for no reason.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, like I'm kind of worried. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think you can't even perform at your best like that because
no, bro.
You know when you're feeling good, you're not really thinking about your body and how it's feeling.
I think I got away with it at times because, like I would say, at the League One level, I was a good player. Do you know what I mean? So I could almost get away with not being at my best and not standing out for being shit. Do you know what I mean? But I could never perform to my full potential.
Yeah, because if body was fine, fully fit, you'd be one of the star players.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I hope so.
Yeah. No, you would be, man. You would be. Cool. So the year, 6 months. Now what? Then what happened after that?
Finish that season. Go to the end of the season. Right. So we was fighting for relegation, trying to get safe, and that's why it was like I needed to play. Do you know what I mean? And I remember we played against Bradford, second to last game or third last game of the season. We won. Got an assist for Jono. Second to last game of the season, Fleetwood away, we needed a point to stay safe. We got that. Last game of the season, I was like, I can't play. Like, we're safe. I can't play. I'm not playing. And he was like, oh, you should. Look, we're safe. We don't really need. It's cool. It's cool. You go and get yourself ready for next season. Gone to see the specialist. Specialist looked at my scan and was like, said, you've got a couple seasons left. Fact.
Wow.
Bro, I don't cry, bro.
How old was you at this stage?
22.
22, okay.
Don't cry. I don't cry. I left that place, just bawling.
Yeah.
Like, sat in my car, and I just could not believe what was coming out of my ears. I was like, bro, I'm not an emotional person. Like, I don't get in my feelings about it. I'm just like, oh, it is what it is. I'll deal with it like usual. This one here burnt me to my core.
Yeah.
Phoned my mum, like, bro. She's like, oh my God, I need to come to Bristol. Like, I was stressed, bro. I just drove home straight to London that day. I was like, bro, this is mad. I packed all my stuff from Bristol.
Yeah.
Flew home.
So the surgeon said to you, you got 2 seasons left.
Yeah. Said you'll be lucky if you get 2 to 3 seasons left out of this knee. Like, there's not much I can do, but I can try.
Yeah.
Had one more surgery that summer. And that's when I went to another specialist and he was like, yeah, it's not looking great. So that's 2 specialists have told me that now. And he was like, I can't guarantee nothing, but I can try and help you. Done that. Done the surgery. Done the rehab. Felt good going into the season, feeling confident.
How long was the rehab this time?
3 months.
3 months, okay.
Yeah, gone into the season thinking, I'm going to be all right. And let's say 3 to 4 months. And yeah, same thing. Done the rehab, building up, testing myself.
Yeah.
Thinking, yeah, no, I feel good. Then as soon as that full match intensity came, training at 100%, training back to back, yeah, knee was done. Like and this is where it became difficult and a little bit political because the managers always said, we want you in the team, so we're going to do whatever we can to look after you and get you in the team. There's so many more things like that's in this, I can't go into detail. There's so much conversations that were had and promises like, we need you to play, we're going to help you, we're going to do everything we can. What do you need to do? All right, I probably need to train Tuesday, off Wednesday, train Friday, very light Friday, train Thursday, very light Friday, and I should be all right. Cool, start doing that. Dennis, now we need you out there more. We need you out there every day if you want to play. There's other left backs playing, so training. How can they train every day and you train a couple times a week and we give you the? I was like, well, you told me you want to play in it, but so then it became a thing of I'm trying to train at the intensity that's required for training, but come Saturday, my knees at its worst. Rather than like managing it, getting to Saturday and I'm at a good level and a level that's probably gonna make me go into Saturday with the best knee possible. Going to Saturday and I was feeling better on Thursday.
Right.
Now Saturday, it's as bad as it could be.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's the logic?
Yeah.
You know
So
what I
they
mean?
needed to manage it better.
You know I can't train on AstroTurf. Or if you want to be available for Saturday, then you've got to train on AstroTurf, otherwise we can't play you. Well, if you know me, you know I want to play, so I'm going to at least attempt that. I do it, knee is effed after it. So I just say, look, I'm not training no more on AstroTurf.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, well, you can't play. So that's just the reality
So
of
it's just
it,
a
man.
vicious cycle.
Vicious,
really.
like, bro, horrible, like mentally obliterating.
Yeah. So at that stage, that's like 20 plus months, really. That's
Yeah,
2
it's almost
years
2 years, yeah.
of just trying to get into it. So that
Almost, no, 16 months back fit, 20 months end of the season, new season, 20. Yeah, like, ended up nearly 2 to 3 years, yeah.
So that second season at Bristol, that's the season where basically they were saying if you can't train,
Yeah.
you're not going to get to play, basically.
Yeah.
So did you actually play any games in that second season? Or
Maybe like 9,
okay,
something like that.
all right.
A few off the bench, few starts.
Yeah. All right. So cool. So as a kid, right, you know, our dream was Premier League, England, Champions League, World Cups. You're here, 24, 23, and you can't play because your knee is mash up.
Yeah.
Like, if you could mentally, like, where were you? Like, where were you?
Do you know what's crazy? The maddest thing is, yeah, even when my knee was feeling finished and I have like a decent game still, in my head, I'm still like, oh, I'm definitely getting back to the championship.
Right.
Like, I'm definitely going back to the champ. By hook or by crook, something's going to come where my knee's going to get better. My ability is not gone nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm definitely going back to the championship.
Yeah.
But yeah, only so far you can go with one knee, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I was never beaten though. I was never, until it was over.
Yeah,
you kept
trying. Yeah.
You know, I was working with you in the summer for the whole summer.
So, all right. So that second season in Bristol, the contract's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was the state of your knee then? Just still continuing the same swelling?
Took the rest.
You
took a lot of time out. Took rest. Came back. Tried to build it up.
Yeah.
Thought like I was paying physios to go and get myself as good as possible. The amount of money I spent on trying to get myself right.
Yeah.
And then it's like I said, with the rehab, it was all good and well training and trying to get it right until I come back to professional, high level intensity. The knee just couldn't tolerate. When I went into Cheltenham thinking, feel good, let's go.
Yeah.
After day 1,
you knew from the first day.
Like, do you know what I mean? I can get through day 2. I can get through it. I'm not gonna be feeling great.
Yeah.
Come day 3, I couldn't train for the next few days. Then I had a game on the Friday. Started going into the game having that same feeling of my knee is fucked, and that's why it was like, yeah. After that game, I couldn't. We was all playing 45s. Played 45 minutes. Sat down on the bench for 5 minutes. Stood up. I could barely walk. Bear in mind, I'm training to try and get a contract.
Yeah. So
I'm walking mad slow to style it out to look like I'm fine. I'm just tired. So
yeah,
I could barely walk, bro. I got onto the coach. That's where I realized I'm sitting down with everyone, yeah, chatting to the man. Them like, oh, we're saying to you, how's the knee? I'm just like, bro, let's not talk about it. Like, I'm like, you lot have all got a nice, like, you're tired. It's been a hard trip, but your body's cool, innit?
Yeah. Bit of soreness the next day, but you'll be alright.
I missed that bit of soreness.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, what am I gonna do? Like, at this point, I'm not expecting to get a contract. I got messages from managers in League One, RT, you coming down this week. And I'm looking at it, I'm just thinking,
how?
Like, I want to.
Yeah, but
how can I come down? I can't come and train. My knee's effed. If I come and train, I'm gonna embarrass myself. I can't run. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And at that point, remember, in my head, it's never been oh, I've got to be done with football. It's always, what are we gonna do next?
Yeah. What's
At
next?
this point, I was like, I think I'm done with football.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, I was like, no, I'm actually done with football. Like I felt no urgency to get back to playing because my knee couldn't tolerate it.
Yeah.
Like I went and got another scan. Knee got worse from the last one, and that's when I was like, bro, and he's telling me all the things that can do, and nothing. Every option he gave me, not one of them was to return to playing professional football.
Right.
It's just for like a quality of life,
Just to keep you living and moving and
I was just
feeling
like,
good.
I was thinking, all right, cool, man. Let me just take some time and just enjoy myself and not be stressed.
Yeah.
But we're in COVID, and I'm like, let me think of the next plan, man. But I took some time to just think, to soul search. I had that couple months of disappointment, and it was like stress, disappointment. Why me? Then I was like, allow that, man. That's never been me.
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna do next? How are we gonna? What value am I gonna add elsewhere?
Yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to kind of move on to next. So that mentality that you had throughout your youth career days and then getting your pro and that just like, what's next? Obviously, with the disappointment of retirement, you kind of got to sit with it and let that sink in. But did you have an idea straight away? Or was it more like you just needed the time to just kind of shut down from the world a bit?
It worked two ways. Like, at first, I was like, I can't sit and mope around. What am I gonna do? What's next?
Yeah.
Then I went. Like, someone I know, like good friend, said, "Oh, what are you doing after football?" Went to sort out a job like in London somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? Let me just try see if I can hack this." Got that job. Never ended up going. Got offered it. Ended up like COVID. COVID slowed it down. It offered me the job, but COVID slowed it down. Gave me the chance to just really reflect, and that's when I was like, "All right, I've needed this period of reflection."
Yeah.
And it's like, no, for me, no money is worth like doing something you don't want to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, life's too short. I've been doing something I love for so long. I have to at least go and do something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And how I'm gonna go and impact someone else positively and help other people and have a career that I actually see myself building something I enjoy.
Yeah.
Opposed to just going to work to earn good money.
Yeah.
That doesn't faze me like that.
And I think that another thing as well that COVID probably helps with you is that, like, if you're being told you got to retire, right? As we've played football all our lives and that's all we know, and that gets tied to our identity. So you don't see yourself as Tarieq Holmes-Dennis, the person.
Yeah.
You see yourself as Tareiq Holmes-Dennis, the footballer. But that footballer has to retire. There's a part of you that's almost died. So you have to grieve.
You have hit the nail on the head.
So you don't get a chance to grieve if you just jump straight into the next thing.
No, and literally, yeah. So that whole period, I went through so many different emotions because, like, I remember I have all my football pictures on my Instagram. I remember going through a stage of I'm deleting them,
everything
because I don't want to be known as Tareiq the footballer. Like, I'm not Tareiq the footballer no more. I'm just Tareiq the person. Then I was like, why am I doing that? Like, I've been like, it's not like, you know, that meme when people be like, oh, I used to be a footballer, but I got an injury. Like, I'm now that meme.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But now, like, I actually went and
like, you still lived a lot of people's dreams. Like, you lived my dream. You was a professional footballer.
Like, I did do it. I'm not faking. I didn't pretend to be a footballer, or like, I actually got there, and through no fault of my own, it's been sucked from me. And now it's like, how am I gonna reform my identity and be like, cool, I'm still Tareiq. That was my past. What am I gonna go and do now that I enjoy and still have value in? But I don't want to just be known as T, the ex-footballer.
Yeah,
like, I'm
there's
more than
more
that.
to you
There's more
than
to me than
that.
that.
Yeah.
And since I've come out of football, that's what's challenged me to that the most. Like,
Yeah.
I've now realized there's so much more to life,
Yeah.
and there's so much more to myself. But when I'm in football, I'm just tunnel vision. It's just football, football.
Yeah.
And since I've come out of that, I've looked at everything from a whole other angle, and it's like, there's really a lot of things to go and do in this life that you, one, enjoy, two, you can still go and earn a good living from, and free, you have a bit more freedom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because football's very rigid, isn't it? It's very
rigid.
rigid.
It's rigid, and you don't obviously
You're a
football's
bit,
the
you're a bit of a
dream.
robot, like.
Yeah, essentially, because you can't talk freely on social medias. Like some people can, but you're gonna get backlash. You can't just go and do what you want to do because you're in a regimented regime, and that's not a bad thing. Like that's good. Like some
Yeah.
people need that, but I'm flipping the narrative and seeing how can I make this in my favor. I actually enjoy now feeling more free and
Yeah.
doing what I want to do on my terms and stuff like that. So that is, yeah, for me, like I find the positive in it.
Yeah. So even now at this stage, right? So I kind of spoke about how like Tareiq the footballer died essentially, and you have to grieve. There's a grieving process. Some people say that you never stop grieving. Like someone mentioned their grandmother who died, right? And they said that there's never been a time where they've ever really accepted it.
Yeah,
Do you feel like you have accepted it, or you ever accept
I feel
that, like, wow, my career, my football career, which I've been doing since I was 6 or 5, is over? Like, can you ever accept that?
I think there's times, where when it first happened, I was like, I'm not watching football for a bit because I'm watching it, and in my head, it doesn't feel real that I'm not playing football. That elite mentality that I've got, that professional of, I need to be playing football. I need to be the best. I need to eat well. I need to. All of that is just like it's just gone. Like you don't need to do any of that now, and that's hard. Like, you grieve. Like now, I wouldn't say 100%. Oh, I don't care. I'm not a footballer no more. I'm much more accepting of it. Like where it's like it is what it is. People have been through 100 times worse than me and come through the other, and that's how I see it. I see it as cool as a footballer, but I've reaped the benefits from it. I've enjoyed myself, and now my time is to move on from that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit down moping around about it and looking at like so disappointed and stressed and sour about it. It is what it is. Like, I actually got to be a footballer.
Yeah.
So I've done that. What next?
Yeah.
Like that's just it. Like I can't sit around stressing. Like don't get me wrong. There was a period where I was on the phone to my dad for hours. Dad, man, what could have been, man?
Yeah.
Like how have I put my whole life into this game
and
I've got there,
but
and through no fault of my own, I'm now watching from the outside.
Yeah.
Tell me how that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then it's like, because in your head, that's never going to be you. You feel sorry for the person that has happened to, but it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And this boy, I was the one. Like it's me, and it's like pain. But now I've accepted it, and I'm like, bro, all my friends that are footballers still, buzzing for them. I watch them all the time. Like it makes me actually appreciate how much of a privileged position I was in, and I now watch my friends and like, nah, you lot are actually lucky. Like you lot are playing professional football at mad levels, and that's probably when I miss it. I'm like, I was actually playing at a sick level. I'm at a big establishment in terms of a club that has a following and a fan base. You really deep what you was doing, but no, man, I'm proud. I'm just proud that I got there. I'm proud that I managed to achieve some of the things that I achieved, and now it's like, what can I go and achieve in life? And I know that I'm like well on the way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and it's a process. I think it's a process to kind of pull yourself away from the identity of the footballer, because I still think now when I think about myself, like I don't think I can ever accept that I never achieved my first dream.
Yeah.
But I always think to myself, I got to make another dream.
Yeah.
I just think I got to make another dream. I'll never accept that I didn't get to be a Premier League player.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I've got to make another dream.
Yeah.
There's got to be more than one dream. I'm allowed to have more than one dream.
And you know what, bro? I'm not gonna lie to you. So for people, obviously, they won't know like our relationship. We've been friends for so long, and in lockdown, when I was getting fit to go to Charlton, how much we worked together, innit?
Yeah. Like it was like every week.
We was going in every other day. We was training. If it was running, we was doing weights. We was
trying something.
We was doing something. And I've obviously seen your story when footballer come back to England, not really sure, no direction.
Exactly.
Like you've got the degree that you've got, and you just didn't know what was going to happen. You've literally worked your ass off to build the platform that you're building, and with that concentrated amount of time and energy within how many months you've got to where you've got to, and that for me, was mad inspiring. Like,
Love, bro,
and
love.
I've seen. I remember the conversation we had where you was like, "T, I'm quitting work."
I was like, I'm quitting the
I was
job,
like,
bro.
bro, do it. Like, you're good enough. Like, you know what you're doing. Just like do it. And you took that leap of faith, and now like you're obviously seeing the rewards.
Yeah,
And that for me, seeing that so close to home, as much as you might not think, really like inspired me to think,
yeah,
if I don't do well, it's my fault.
right.
Like, can
Yeah,
I take the accountability of, boy, all that knowledge is there for you to go and learn. Are you gonna go and learn it?
yeah,
Are you gonna go and try and do something, or are you gonna just mope around and flipping, be sad for yourself and feel
yeah,
sorry for yourself and go and
yeah.
watch everyone else
It's true,
doing
innit?
well?
It's true. And I
Come on,
kind of
man.
even it's love for that first of all, but it's kind of even to flip it to what I do on a day to day with clients and fitness, right? You get some people that are like, oh, they always fit, they're always in shape, but they eat cake. But how can they still be in shape? But they don't see all the work that they're doing outside of maybe they're linking up once a week, having a few drinks, but 5 days a week that person's in the gym, eating well for the most of the time. You know, like people don't see that. They just think they just see the tip of the iceberg, but they don't see all the work below. So yeah, man, that's crazy. So, what advice would you give to a younger version of yourself?
One, brother, just, if you're in a, even if you're not in an academy and you're playing football, just appreciate the opportunity that you might have.
Yeah,
Work hard, like work very hard, like work harder than anyone else that's around you. Enjoy it, like, because I know that in an academy, we surprised how many people don't enjoy it, and it's because the pressures. That's what I think anyway. Not everyone will say, like, the pressures, the disappointment, the setbacks. It's like someone I know sometimes it's like, "Oh, do I need to be doing this?" Some people, for the most, they love it, they're whatever. But bro, like, it's not a given. You're not always gonna be. At some point, you're gonna have to retire. Enjoy it, make the most of it. Don't take it for granted. It's always someone else that is wants to take your spot. When you hear that when you're young, it's like, "Oh, whatever, man. No one ain't taking my spot."
yeah.
There really is someone
It's
else that
true,
wants
isn't
to
it?
take your
Yeah,
spot. You look at the likes of Jamal Lowe, dropped out and out of the game in terms of professionally, went non-league, absolutely ripping it up at non-league. Took his while, got back into the game, and now he's flying in the championship. He battered up League Two, battered up League One. Now it's Championship. Next will be Prem for him. I can guarantee you, there's how many players that didn't think that Jamal Lowe was coming to take their spot,
and
and he
he's just
has.
come and he's done it. Yeah,
So that is for me a prime example of knowing that there's people behind you that you probably don't think is going to be a competition that actually are. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And then one more thing, kind of in terms of we spoke about your mindset quite a lot and how it's always like on to the next. What's the
yeah.
next big thing? Obviously, football's not happening for you right now. What are the next things? What are the next projects? What are things you're trying to get into, or things that you want to start, or things that you might already be into?
So mainly working at a company with like players, young players, trying to mentor
Yeah,
and guide them on their journey. Like,
yeah,
literally just trying to give them a helping hand and show. I've been there, I've seen it, I know what comes with it, and if I can give them the best advice I can, like, I will. So that, alongside just a few other ventures on the side that I'm doing.
yeah.
Yeah, like, people, you'll see that in the next coming couple months. But
And then in terms of one more thing, in terms of the mindset, actually, that mindset you developed through sports, right, and through being in that environment, because it can be quite an intense environment. It can sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive. But are there any things that you can take away from your playing experience that you can apply to these projects and things that you're doing outside of football itself? Like,
I think it's the resilience. Like,
okay,
if things ain't going well, are you just gonna head down and be disappointed that it didn't go well, or are you gonna be like, well, let me find a way around to get the answer that I want?
right.
Like,
So like the work ethic
the
and the
work ethic, the
discipline and
discipline, like, especially the discipline just feels like that's just been instilled in me
It's
from so
natural,
long.
right?
It's like
Yeah.
to do anything other than that feels weird. Do you know what I mean? So that's definitely one of them. That's
Yeah,
definitely
for
one
sure. I
of them.
think the discipline thing is a big one because I realized that. I think when I went to America, I realized that because over there, when I first got there, all the guys in the team were drinking, people were smoking, and when you're here in academy, you don't think you just like, nah, man, I need to get a pro. Like this, I need to get my pro contract. I can't do this. So when I went over there and these guys were doing that, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
how can you even train in the morning and
Nah.
after the night we're about to have? Like,
Trust me,
I
bro.
couldn't do it.
It's
So yeah,
crazy.
that I realized that has kind of played a big role in how I behave now because that's kind of drilled into you from 8 years old. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of mad. But yeah, man. Cool, man. First of all, thank you.
No worries.
I appreciate it. I really enjoyed that. It was a good talk, man. I'll put all your details in the description. So if you guys want to follow Tareiq, make sure you go do that. He's got some exciting things coming up, I'm sure. Cool, man. Episode 6, Spectrum of Health podcast. I'm Jav. This is Tareiq. Peace.
Thanks for having me, bro.